All right, example 6, last part for this lesson. We are looking at some more equations that have radicals that we're trying to eliminate. So here I have the square root of 4x, and in order to eliminate that, we should know by now that we need to square both sides of this equation, because that will eliminate the radical here. It's just the radical. So I need to do that to both sides. Anytime we're doing something to an equation, we need to do it to both sides of the equation. So on the right side, it'll eliminate the radical, giving me just 4x. On the other side, x minus 8 squared, that is x minus 8 times x minus 8. Right? If we square something, that means we're taking it times itself. So x minus 8 squared would be x minus 8 times x minus 8. Okay, we would multiply that using the boxed method typically in our class. So we have x minus 8 times x minus 8, where x times x is x squared, x times negative 8 is negative 8x. Again, x times negative 8 is negative 8x, and then negative 8 times negative 8 is positive 64. And so that would give me x squared minus 16x. That's what I would get when I combine negative 8x and negative 8x plus 64 equals 4x. Okay. Now this one, we might need a little more guidance with how to solve. Because we have this x squared, it's maybe not as straightforward on how to solve. So again, the first thing I would probably do is I would look at the fact that I have x terms on both sides, and I'd want to eliminate that. So let's start by subtracting 4x on both sides in order to eliminate that 4x. This is going to give me x squared minus 20x plus 64, and that will be equal to 4x minus 4x is 0. Then this gives me a quadratic equation that we can solve. We could do it by completing the square, we could do it by the quadratic formula, but if you remember, the first thing we should try to do is we should see if we can factor it. So let's see if we can find numbers that would multiply, or things that would multiply to 64x squared and add to negative 20x. Okay, so let's see. We need numbers that would multiply to 64, add to negative 20. Well, one thing that might be helpful is knowing the numbers that multiply to 64. So that's 1 and 64, 2 and 32, 4 and 16, and 8 and 8. Those are the factors of 64, the factor pairs. So let's see, the ones that I think might be able to multiply to negative 20, well, I can see that 4 plus 16 is a positive 20. So if I make it negative 4 and negative 16, that would give me a negative 20. So it looks like negative 4 and negative 16x are going to be my factors that I need here. Well, reset again. So if you need the work, you're going to have to rewind, but we were at the point where we have 64x squared on top, 20x, negative 20x on the bottom, and we just found that negative 4x and negative 16x are what we need. And so that's going to give me the factors x minus 4 and x minus 16. Why won't it work there? X minus 16 equals 0. We can then set each of these factors equal to 0, x minus 4 equals 0, and x minus 16 equals 0. Solve both of these. This gives me x plus 4 on both sides, x equals 4. We can add 16 on both sides here, and that gives me x equals 16. And so my two solutions here is that x will equal 4 and 16. Okay, let's see if we can get through the next problem without it resetting itself, but I am doubtful. So same thing. We have the square root of 2x minus 4, so we are going to square both sides in order to eliminate that radical. So on the left side of the equation, we would get 2x minus 14. We then also need to square the other side. X minus 7 squared, that would give me, if we multiplied it using the box method, we would get x squared minus 7x plus 49. So this will become x squared minus 14x plus 49. Okay, so we've got some other things over here that we are going to need to kind of move over before we can solve this quadratic. So first I might add 14 with the 49 over here in order to eliminate the minus 14 over here. I could also subtract 2x from both sides in order to cancel out with the 2x we have over here, leaving me 0 equals x squared minus negative 14x minus 2x is negative 16x, and then 49 plus 14 is 63. So we have another quadratic that we can solve. We can try to factor. So we have x squared plus 63 as our first and last term, so we're going to be looking for numbers that multiply to 63x squared. We then need numbers that would add to negative 16x. So let's see. Multiply to 63 would be 1 and 63, 3 and 21, or 7 and 9. If I want a negative 16, I know that 7 and 9 add to 16, so if I make them negative, they would add to negative 16, negative 7x, and negative 9x are the factors that I need. So that will give me that 0 equals x minus 7 and x minus 9. I can set each factor equal to 0, x minus 7 equals 0, and x minus 9 equals 0. Here I would add 7, giving me x equals 7. On the other one, I would add 9, giving me x equals 9. And these are my two solutions, x equals 7 and 9. And look at that, we were able to solve a problem without my iPad resetting itself. And that is all for example 6. So let me know if you have any questions. Sorry about the iPad resetting itself multiple times, and hopefully you are able to do your practice now.